What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about popular British things that, for some reason, just are not popular in America. The first and biggest example that comes to my mind is tea. Tea is so popular in Britain, but not popular at all in America. But also tea is kind of an obvious example. So today I wanna look below. I wanna look deeper into this and learn about some of the more obscure things that are popular in Britain. Well, I guess obscure here, but probably pretty well known in Britain, funny enough. And I guess stuff we just don't appreciate here in America for some reason. And what's fun about this discussion we're gonna look at is it also includes a lot of examples of things that are popular here in America that never caught on in Britain, which I think I might be a little entertained by as well, the opposite. So, taking a look at this little Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what popular American things are not big in the UK? And vice versa. What popular British things are not popular in America? The UK normally embraces American culture. Which American things have not caught on in the UK? And which popular British things should America take on board? Right, maybe I can start like a new craze here. If I see something, I can run out into the streets and let the people know, hey, there's a popular British thing we could be doing. And they'll just be like, get out of here. What are you doing? Okay, first example is we don't have assault rifles because they are too dangerous. Fair enough. America doesn't have Kinder eggs because apparently they are too dangerous. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I mean it's a good point. I get it. I get what he's doing here. Yeah, apparently the gun laws in the United States are pretty unique, kind of based on our rights and the Constitution and all that. And America is definitely like pretty unique in how it handles its gun laws and how much effort it takes to get a gun, which isn't very much, which is disturbing. You know, as an American, I'll admit that. That's disturbing, how easy it is to get a gun. It's actually more disturbing to me that you don't have to take some kind of exam, prove you're mentally fit to handle the responsibility of a gun. Like, if they're gonna be so easy to get, why can't we kind of make it a little more difficult for people to prove that they're worthy of that responsibility? Instead, it's not all that difficult to find a gun or get it, to get like a license, or in a lot of states you don't even need a license to own a gun. Anyway, and we don't have Kinder eggs. I don't know why. Like, I've seen Kinder eggs. I think people do entire YouTube channels of like just opening Kinder eggs, the chocolate eggs with little toys inside. That's why it's banned in the United States, by the way. I think I know this one. Kinder eggs are illegal in America because children and maybe adults just didn't get it and would just bite into the Kinder egg and choke on whatever's inside, because it's a chocolate egg with like a thing inside, a fun thing, right? I think I know what a Kinder egg is. And apparently we are not equipped to handle the responsibility of the Kinder egg. But for some reason, we are equipped enough to handle assault rifle ownership. This one's really making me scratch my head. Seriously. Okay. That's a good one, by the way. And probably a good topic to talk about, honestly. But, okay, things that are popular in Britain but not in America, or vice versa. That ridiculously large gap around the doors in public bogs. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is something that's popular in America and not popular in Britain, and it's for the best. This is something I am jealous of Britain for. Yeah, maybe I can pull up a picture here, like American bathroom stall. I've heard about this. Apparently this is not normal. I didn't realize this for a long time. Let me put here. This picture, it's a little blurry, but you get the idea. This is, a bathroom stall. Very common. There's giant gaps in the top and bottom. And honestly, usually little tiny gaps in between, like where the door and the edge meet. And there's just gaps everywhere. And when you walk into a bathroom, you can kind of see people, definitely see their shoes and maybe the top of their head, and people are bending down and looking under to see if it's in if the toilet's in use, and it's just it's like the honor system that we all kind of agree let's not stare at each other, but at the same time some people use it as an opportunity to like crouch down and see if you're using the toilet instead of seeing if the door is open. And I didn't know it could be another way. So I'm gonna interpret this as a popular thing in Britain is having bathroom stalls that actually like give you some modesty and cover you up from the public. And in the United States, somehow that's not popular. As a matter of fact, we love building stalls where everyone can see a lot of you, and it's weird. And well, look, okay, here's a comment on this actually. My other half was unaware of this the first time we went to the USA. I casually mentioned it just before she left for the toilet after landing. She came back just saying, WTF, WTF, WTF. Oh boy, mental, isn't it? I can only assume that Americans are just a load of scat-obsessed perverts who love to watch strangers slopping out. I don't understand half of this sentence, but I love the vocabulary here. Slopping out? Is that another way of saying going to the bathroom? My God. Yes, maybe we are scat-obsessed perverts watching slopping out. I don't know how else to explain. I blame the toilet companies or the bathroom companies in the United States. Like, why? It doesn't have to be this way. It took a long time for me to know that. Like, that's a big thing I learned from Britain, is that we can actually, like, not have to be visible when going in public toilets. So, I'm not surprised that's not popular in Britain. That's probably a good thing. And a bad thing it's popular here, my God. Okay, cheese in a can. Okay, so something popular in America that isn't popular in Britain. Cheese in a can. I feel like people who live outside of the United States think cheese in a can is popular, or more popular than it actually is. Cheese in a can comes across as a very American thing, but I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever in my life seen someone actually with a can of spray cheese. That's not it's disgusting. Most Americans think that it's disgusting. Maybe it does exist here. I don't even know. Like, I could probably find it in the grocery store. I've never tried, but this seems to be something associated with America that people think it's real popular, but it's not. It's really not. It's funny though. It's fun, and I know it was in a bunch of like American movies at one point, like in the 90s, and it's just like, no, I find it disgusting. And what else do we have besides cheese in a can? Lack of holidays when working, and working as many hours as possible as a badge of honor. So this is something popular in America too. I mean, these are like perfect examples of things you do not want to be popular in your country. So it's actually good that this is not popular in Britain. I wish it was not popular here. Lack of holidays. Yeah, lack of time off. Based on who your employer is, how much time off you get. Women don't get much maternity leave when we're giving birth. It can be maybe as short as a month, or else the work's gonna stop paying you. It's crazy. Oh, and obsessed with work. Yeah, that's kind of changing though. A lot of Americans are not seeing working your butt off as a badge of honor. I think the work-life balance in America is hopefully shifting a bit to be a little more healthy. Hopefully. Thinking that anything that benefits others is communism and therefore bad. Yeah, communism or socialism. Socialism is a very dirty word in the United States, where it's like, seems like conversations around these other political and societal ideologies have just become so polarizing that Americans don't even want to discuss it anymore. Like, if there's any benefits to any other kind of way, like our healthcare system just remains the way it is, where we're all at the beck and call of like major healthcare and hospitals and pharmaceutical companies, and hoping our health insurance covers it. And if it doesn't, you're absolutely screwed. Is that the only way it has to be? It's kind of like if you relate this to the bathroom stall doors. It doesn't have to be this way. There's other ways to do it, and sometimes Americans really start blocking that out, that there's other options, other ways of doing things around the world, such as how Brits do things, certain things, that might be better, might be worth looking at. I don't know. This kind of spurred that idea in my mind. Crazy, right? Thinking people are responsible enough to drive at 16, but not to drink till 21. Yeah, I mean, you could relate this to the gun comment at the beginning of this video. It's crazy in America that it's a sort. I mean, you could call it popular or just the prevailing way it is that guns are so accessible that you don't have to really prove your competency for a gun. Like, at least for cars, you have to take a driver's test and have a driver's license. And if you break any laws, it gets taken away from you and you have strikes but that is at the age of 16, and for some reason, none of this makes any sense when I say it out loud. That's another funny thing. So it turns out a lot of the popular things in America that are not popular in Britain, it's probably better that way for Britain. That's the funny thing I'm learning about here. A little depressing for me. But yeah, we can't drink till 21, but we can drive at 16. I think you can own a gun at 18. None of it adds up. It's just completely random. Yeah, not being able to drink till 21 just kind of encourages, minors to drink. Because it's such an absurd age. Like 21? You can join the army and die in combat when you're 18, but you can't have a beer till 3 years later. Something doesn't make sense about that. Yeah, most Americans don't agree about the 21, and most Americans end up drinking before the age of 21. Don't tell anyone that I said that, by the way. This is all purely hypothetical theory. In theory, Americans drink illegally under the age of 21. I'm sure that's never happened ever, actually. I don't even know what I'm talking about. The U.S. working culture is horrific. And I see it creeping into British and European workplaces. Yeah, the U.S. working culture. This is so eye-opening in a way. Because this is another thing I've kind of heard a little about. That the United States is strange in how we do education, and our work-life balance is all off, and our gun laws, and our healthcare. And Americans, I guess I can explain it, we just think it's normal because we grow up here. And that's how we're raised, and that's how we're told it is. And then it takes a long time to kind of undo that or open your mind as an adult. I think a lot of Americans fall into that trap and could actually learn a lot by learning more about other countries around the world and how they do things. Which brings me back to this video. So, what are some more things that are popular in Britain, but not in America? Oh, this is something popular in America, but not popular in Britain, Seinfeld. It never translated particularly well to the UK. I'll no doubt get some responses saying how they love it, as do all their friends. But in general, it doesn't work here. Seinfeld is not that popular in the UK, is that right? That's pretty amazing. It is a phenomenon in America, like especially with, it's been a while, so it is going to be an older demographic, but people call it timeless. I've seen like clips of it. It's obviously very well done and very funny. I think it's like a classic American comedy show. It's the classic American comedy next to Friends, I suppose. So funny to think how that is an American comedy. And it actually makes a lot of sense to me that it wouldn't be popular in Britain. British comedy is so different. It's so unique. And Seinfeld is so American. Like, this actually makes sense to me, honestly. Although British comedy does seem to be pretty popular and well received in America, actually. So it kind of works one way. American comedy, not that popular in Britain. British comedy, usually pretty popular in America, I think. I've always assumed there's some kind of cultural mismatch when it comes to Seinfeld. It's absolutely lauded in the States. But whenever I've tried to watch it, I've found it so unfunny. That's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. It's just a cultural difference, I think, huh? Okay, some more things that are popular in America, but not popular in Britain. Okay. Forcing kids to chant the Pledge of Allegiance and worship a flag. Wow. I don't know how other countries around the world do this kind of thing, but if there's a pledge or a national anthem said in the UK before school, or how patriotic schools get. I never realized as a kid that it was a little strange that we were pledging our allegiance to, hand over the heart, pledging our allegiance to the flag of our nation, which I don't know how I feel about it. I am American after all, so I'm a little biased here. Like, it's nice and all to be, proud of your country, but should we be forcing little children who don't know anything about the country or how the world works to recite some pledge of allegiance that they don't understand? Probably not. That's probably not great. Maybe later in life when they learn things, people can choose if they want to say a pledge of allegiance to the nation's flag, but probably not as children. Unless you want to kind of indoctrinate some sort of, nationalistic ideology, which probably works. Honestly, I can't argue with the results, I guess, except later in life, a lot of us Americans do look back and we're like, that was a little strange. That was a little strange, the Pledge of Allegiance. Competitive school sports. That's not popular in Britain? Competitive school sports? Competitive school sports are everything in America. Like, even in high school, like not just college, like high school, even lower than that, middle school, elementary school, parents go nuts. I think a lot of it is living vicariously through their children. I mean, that's the most extreme cases. A lot of it is like innocent enough, like having fun playing competitive school sports, but it certainly is something that's really emphasized in American culture. Being part of a sports team, being good, being the winner. You gotta win, you gotta be the best. America, that whole thing. Drive-through banks and pharmacies. That's not popular in Britain? I don't see anything wrong with a drive-through bank or pharmacy. Seems convenient. I think Britain should consider those things, if you ask me. First good thing on here that I'm saying should be more popular in Britain. American mainstream sports. Baseball, American football, ice hockey. And on the flip side, in Britain, I think you have cricket. I don't know if rugby's popular. Football, which we would call soccer. It is interesting how there are literally entire sports, which are big, like companies, honestly, big, like phenomenons, that are completely, like, popular in America. Baseball for sure, American football for sure, the NBA, like American basketball, ice hockey, not really that popular in America, to be honest, but those other things certainly are. That is interesting. And then we don't care at all about cricket or football, really. Some Americans do, but most don't, to be honest. And I'm pretty sure those are massively popular in Britain, but not here. I wonder how that's just like something steeped so deeply into the culture. I guess if you're not playing like cricket as a kid growing up in school, it's just not a part of your life, so you don't care about it. It could be just as simple as that. That difference between our countries, huh? 100% drive-through pharmacies and banks would work. People hate getting out and walking. Plus, there seems to be less social interaction, which seems more and more common. Yeah, I agree. I think drive-through pharmacies and drive-through banks are great. Those have been around forever in America. I think that's great. Britain, you should consider those. Let that be the one thing maybe Britain considers in this discussion, and there is a whole ton of things here that America should really, really consider. That seems to be popular ways of doing things in Britain, but not popular in America, and I don't understand it. A lot of really interesting points were brought up here. I didn't really know this was going to be so, like, a bit philosophical, kind of challenging our U.S. ideologies a bit. I like it. I don't mind that at all. And I think I really learned something about Britain as well, and the differences in our culture, which are real fascinating and beautiful in a way, right? So I enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with what you think, something that's popular in Britain but not popular in America. That'd be interesting. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture and stuff in Britain I've never learned about or seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.